So let's say you were at a jam. Somebody said, okay, we're doing A minor 7 to D7, 2 beats apiece, just a vamp. Come up with a bass line for it. Okay? Because that's the kind of situation you're going to run into. You're going to be given you're going to be given some information. Sometimes they might just play it and you have to kind of figure it out by ear. Sometimes that'll happen too. Right. But let's say you're playing with this guitar player and a drummer, and they're saying, or a piano player and a drummer say, okay, yeah, it's a A minor 7 D7 vamp, 2 beats apiece.
What does that mean, 2 beats apiece?
1, 2, 3. But each chord gets 2 beats in a 4/4 time. If you know, you understand what a measure of 4/4 time is.
Yes.
So the first 2 beats of that measure are going to get 1 chord. The A minor 7 chord. The second 2 beats are going to get the D7 chord.
Okay.
So if I listen to it, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like a slow 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might ask, how do I know it's that and not 1, 2, 3, 4 twice as counted like that? You always listen for the snare drum.
Okay.
Snare drum is
on 2 and 4, right?
Yeah, right. So if you listen to where the snare is, one, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I know how to count it that way instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You see me? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know the first 2 beats are A minor and the second 2 beats are D7, right?
Right.
Now, with our triad knowledge, this is where we start using that information on the triad stuff. So first we got to know what triad goes with what, right? So the A minor 7 chord is going to get what kind of triad? A minor one, right?
Oh yeah. That makes.
I'm sorry.
I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, what's it? Yeah.
No, I don't.
didn't know
Yeah.
that's
No,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, big minor.
Yeah. All right. A minor is going to get minor. D7 is going to get major.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So that means that when you're picking your notes for this thing, you might want to go left side, you might want to do a center, you might want to do a right. It kind of depends on where things are. You know, you make those choices depending on, on how you want to set up the line. Do you want it to be here or here or here? It's going to make a difference, right?
Okay.
Now, we're not really to that point in our analysis yet to kind of figure that out, on what position or section we want to play.
Okay.
We got to kind of we got to find what I call our groove denominator, or core. We got to find our core. Now, core means the simplest thing that you can do, and the music still survives.
Okay.
Because you want to base your choices off the core. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be locked into the essence of the groove and feel that you need to get into.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the core harmonically, note-wise, is always easy. You just play root notes, right? That's the simplest thing you can do.
Right.
Though what's not as obvious sometimes is the rhythmic core, because you have to find both the harmonic core and the rhythmic core to get started. The harmonic core is always going to be just root notes, so that part's easy. Rhythmic core, you got to say, okay, well, what is that going to be? Then we have to listen to the track and listen to the bass drum and find the main hits of that bass drum to lock our root notes in. And that's where we're going to start to formulate our bass line.
Okay.
So if we listen to it, and it's good to one of the good first things to do here is to count with it and find our rhythmic subdivision. Remember when I said in the styles stuff about getting used to counting out loud? And how it's going to be your best friend, but it's going to be kind of like a pain in the butt at first, and it's going to get in the way. But this is where it starts to become a useful tool, and we use it.
Okay.
Because now we put the rhythmic framework in a grid of whatever the smallest subdivision of that measure is going to be, which in this case is going to be 16th notes for this measure. I mean, for this particular Bam. 2, 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2. I'm feeling my pulse on the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2. So the first thing I want you to do with this is I want you to count 16th notes with the track and get real comfortable just counting with it as you listen to it.
Okay.
We're going to call this section bass lines. So we're going to start to work up a methodology of putting together bass lines with tracks and stuff that you're going to be playing.
Okay. Now, why did you pick 16th notes for that?
Well, because I listened to where the 1, 2, 3, 4s were, right?
Right.
First, I need to find that. That's our basic pulse in 4/4 time. We've got to find out where that 1, 2, 3, 4 is, our quarter notes, right?
Okay.
And then we
Right.
listen to where the other the other instruments are subdividing the rhythms. You could say eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But I'm listening to the bass drum and I'm hearing him hitting stuff in between those eighth notes. So that tells me that's not my rhythmic core yet. I need to go another division further. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and you hear how the bass drum hits line up with those?
Yeah.
So that's what you listen for, is you figure out what subdivision the bass drum is working off of. Then you start counting there, because chances are you're going to be doing some 16th note hits with that bass drum for your core. Doesn't mean always you're going to do it, but in this case you would be. Now we're starting off a little complex here with the 16th notes, I know, but this is the kind of thing that you're definitely, when you play with people, you're going to run into this right away.
Okay.
So I figure why not dive in the deep end right off the bat here. So do you have any questions so far?